and welcome to AWS Julie. Today's video, I wanted to share with y'all that I recently passed my 11th AWS certification. So the last certification for me was the AWS Certified Database Specialty Certification Exam, and I now hold all 11 active AWS certifications. So in today's video, I want to cover some exam tips and habits that I used in my certification preparation that will hopefully help you too. So the first tip is you have to want it. You have to have hungry eyes. And I've talked about hungry eyes before. When I started learning AWS, changing my life and the life of my daughters was really the only thing I could think about. That was my focus. And after a few certifications that gave me a little bit of a confidence boost, I began being more active in the AWS community. I recently started mentoring others, so I've been expanding my studies and reading more, and I just finished Atomic Habits by James Clear. And in this book, he talks about how to form habits to achieve goals, and he dives deeper into goals and habits and experiences, but I really liked how he talked about two types of goals, outcome and identity. An outcome goal would be passing a certification, but an identity goal is becoming what you want and who you want to be by implementing these small changes and habits into your life daily. And in reading this book, I realized I was already doing a lot of this. And one of the really cool things that I realized that I had not done was I accomplished an identity goal. I started off as an administrative assistant and ended up what we now see and know as AWS Julie. And a lot of people tell me that I've become AWS obsessed. And it's true, I have to agree that, but my life has truly changed. For example, I know so much more now. Now, I still have so much more to learn, but I've grown, and I'm also now able to pass along what I've learned, the experiences I've had, and to help others as well. Let's break down how to successfully study and ace your certifications with a few more tips and habits. So tip number 2 is to schedule your training. And this was really crucial for me because as a single mom, most of the time my daughters often messed up my calendar and my studies. But what I found worked for me was adding my training time to my schedule. And on top of this comes our first habit. So habit number 1 is to train for at least 10 minutes during your scheduled training time. Now there are going to be a lot of days, even for me, when I got to the training scheduled on my calendar and I did not feel like training. I had my daughter's plays and games to attend, but one habit that I started doing was training for at least 10 minutes a day. So I would sit down and I would train for at least that 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, if I did not feel like continuing on, then I would walk away. But most days I completed the 10 minutes and more. And bonus tip is to add your training to your laptop, to your phone, to your tablet, so that it's easy to access. And that's going to make it more likely that you will pull up the training and complete those 10 minutes daily. Tip number 3 is to choose your training wisely. And I say this because training is personal. So not only do you need to trust that the content is solid, but you should also support those creating content in the AWS community and those that participate in our AWS community daily. And this rolls up into habit number 2, which is to support the AWS community. And as you do this, you will become more active and you're going to dive deeper into your own learning, but you're also going to be helping others who are on a similar path as yours. Tip number 4 is to choose your practice exams wisely as well. Not all practice exams out there have the correct answers marked as the correct answer. And when you're new or you're learning a new domain, you just don't know what you don't know. So you need to make sure that the training that you choose to use is correct. And by using the second habit that we just talked about, we can again support the AWS community and choose the practice exams from those people who are active daily and passionate about helping others. Habit number 3 is to use these questions in the practice exams to dive deeper and understand why that correct answer is the best choice for that question. You're going to find that with most AWS certification exams, there are 2 correct answers, but one of those correct answers is the better choice for that scenario. So you do need to have that deep dive into your practice exam so that you can better understand services and choose the best answer. So as you can see, you need a solid plan. So tip 5 is to create that plan and be specific. So for me, that was training during coffee, during lunch, and before bed. But maybe for you, it's 2 hours a day or only on weekends. but you have to be specific in what you want to achieve daily for your training. A few weeks ago, when I was preparing for the Database Specialty Certification exam, I had a specific set goal to review all of my practice exam questions and dive deep into each one and understand why that correct answer was the best choice and also why the other answers were not. But your specific goal for that training day may be that you just want to complete one section or 2 lessons daily. Training really is personal, and the way that you're going to succeed is making sure that the way you add it into your day-to-day life actually fits your schedule, and again, that it's easy to do, so you want to make it accessible. I recently started using the app Notion, which syncs with a lot of other applications, and it can really help you organize and create your training plan. Plus, you can embed links, you can add screenshots, and so on. Tip number 6 is to be kind to yourself. There are going to be days that you don't want to train, and that's okay. We all have things that are important, and sometimes those things take priority. But we can add another habit in here, and that is to believe in yourself. Understand that you're going to be dealing with imposter syndrome, and understand that the more you learn, the more you realize how much you actually don't know. And this is called the Dunning-Kruger effect, and I'll add a link in the description. But I remember sitting in my car back in October 2018 and thinking to myself, I just passed the AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate exam, and I can now do anything. But that's actually not the case. And when I started the Certified Developer training, it struck me very quickly how much I still don't know and how much there is that I need to learn. And that's been true so far throughout all my certification preparations. Actually, each time I start new training, I'm actually shocked at how much I still don't know. Tip number 7 is to use what you learn. I was listening to a YouTube video the other day, and I'll add a link in the description, but the gist of it was that if you take the training and you do nothing, then that's just entertainment. So you have to put your new knowledge and that new depth that you're learning to work. Jump into AWS and start building. Tip number 8 is to make your goal and your habits attractive. And what I mean by this, we talked about this briefly earlier, is to follow others in the community and again, be active in our AWS community and see what others are out there achieving. There are so many people working on the same certification as you or working to land that same role as you, and they're doing it with great success. Seeing people get the things that they want, achieve their goals, that's just going to ramp you up, and that's just going to encourage you and get you a little bit more obsessive on your own goals and making sure that you ace those certification exams. You can use all of the activity, all of the success that you see in the AWS community as motivation to accomplish your own goals. Now, I want to wrap up this and I want to share the training resources that I use and trust. Every time I start a new training and I start preparing for a new certification, I complete my training course twice. And again, remember that training is personal, and there are a lot of great content creators out there who are, again, active in our AWS community daily, and those are the ones that I encourage you to support. I always dive deep into my practice exam answers. I make sure that I understand exactly why the best choice answer is the best choice, and I also take the time to understand why the other choices are not the best choice. And then another thing that I do every time I prepare for a certification is I build a project relating to that training. And I think that that really helps me dive deeper and understand the content, but also take that understanding and that content and build something so you get that real world experience, which is going to come back. And when you're sitting for your certification exam, you're going to be able to pull from that actual build and say, oh yeah, I did this when I was building, and this is the correct answer for this answer. And these are the training resources that I use and I trust. And again, I want to encourage you to support content creators who are active in our AWS community. You're going to find that their content is solid, their content is correct, and their content is updated with all of the AWS updates that come out almost daily. As always, please reach out. I'm always here to help, and good luck in acing your certification or your goals, whatever you're trying to do to change your life. Go get it.